Hi out there, how's everybody doing? Tough these days, huh? The economy's not great, job market looks bad, the housing market's in disorder. Everybody says we're in a recession. You know what though? I don't think we are. I think we're doing just fine, and let me tell you why. I went to several weddings this year, and none of them are what I would describe as recession-y. I don't think anybody held back at any of these events. At one, they featured a candy bar that had 20 different kinds of blue candy. And another friend of mine made tiny little mini versions of her large wedding cake for each of her 200 guests to take home. There's nothing recession-y about it. And I know what you're thinking. You must have rich friends. Here's the thing. I don't. They're not rich at all. They just fell into the trap that all young American couples getting married fall into, the wedding trap. You know, where you aggressively overspend, outdo, one-up, totally ignore the fact that you've got 50 more years to live together and you focus on that one day to make it perfect, or at least better than your cousin Lisa's wedding. That trap. It's a tricky trap that most people fall into. I think the Kardashian wedding is a perfect example. There was nothing about that wedding that had anything to do with a marriage. And I'm married, and I've been to several weddings, and I've been a bridesmaid 7 wonderful times. Each time it was an honor. But honestly not worth a month's rent. But I think those things combined, and really nothing else of note, make me an expert. And as such, I'm here to tell you a few tips, some things to make your wedding day easier so you can focus on the marriage. Here we go. First thing, I know a lot of ladies worry about looking good. You want to look your best on that day. So my advice to you is this. 3 months before the wedding, you're going to want to do a combination of Pilates and anorexia. And I think the weight will fly off and you'll fit in that dress and look fabulous. My second piece of advice, somebody gave this to me, so I did this, is don't tell any of the vendors you're working with that it's for a wedding. When they hear that it's for a wedding, they jack up the price. So when I ordered my flowers, I played this little trick on her, and she said, "Congratulations." And I said, "Oh no, it's not for me." And she said, "Who's it for then?" And I panicked a little and I said, "Oh, my dad." It's for my dad. He's turning 60, you know, so yeah, if he wants a bouquet of dendrobium orchids and 3 smaller ones and coordinating colors for his friends, that's what I'm going to get him. So that's also helpful advice. And this is my last piece of advice, really, for anybody attending a wedding, anybody whose best friends or loved ones or sisters or brothers are getting married. Never, never tell a bride on the day of her wedding that it's not too late. Because it is. It's entirely too late. You're going to have to go through with it. That's the advice you should be giving. Any cold feet you have, you'll deal with 72 days later like Kim Kardashian, and you can figure it out then. But the day of the wedding, everybody's there, and there's food and the band, so you're going to want to go ahead and go down that aisle. I think the time to call it is before you send out the invites. So anyway, I hope those things are helpful to you so you can be a little less stressed on your wedding day and focus a little bit more on your marriage. My mom gave me great advice before I got married. She said, "Would you marry him if you couldn't have a wedding?" And I said, "You know what, I would. I really would. As long as if at some point in my life I can make 7 women who are very near and dear to my heart spend a lot of money on a dress that makes their head look too small for their body." So anyway, that's my thoughts on weddings. That's my advice to you guys. That's my 2 cents.